Interesting stuff from Jose Mourinho after the game, Nedum, and I just want to get the psyche. If you were in that Tottenham locker room and you heard your coach when asked, in the past you've been so good at closing out games, what's changed? And he said, same coach, different players.
He certainly has a way with words. And again, I think every time Jose Mourinho speaks out in the open, I think as a player, you have to ask yourself, is what he's saying correct or not? I think if he's leveling a criticism at somebody and it is correct, the player essentially doesn't have any leg to stand on. But in some cases, a player is very rarely going to criticise the coach, but the coach always seems to get the chance to criticise the player, and that is going to hurt your pride. But I think the Spurs players know themselves that what they've been putting out there this season essentially hasn't been acceptable. Even today, to take a 2-1 lead when you're not playing well, you still expect them to close the game out. So I think it's right to be criticised, but I just don't necessarily think
it hasn't made a difference.
Jose Mourinho,
after the Europa League debacle, after they got knocked out there, he threw everyone under the bus, didn't make any sort of improvement, happened again today. What he's doing isn't galvanising the side, it isn't making them any better. So surely he's got to change his tact.
Not necessarily, no, because I think going into the next games, it puts more pressure on the players. And I think for some of these players, with their pride, at some point they will step up. I think they know that in 2-3 weeks' time, there's a League Cup final, and the pressure is going to be really on for them, because if they don't do well in that, they're relying on, like, what have they got for the rest of the season? There's a big sense of, pressure, and Jose's adding to that, hoping that that's going to spark something within his team, and he could do the opposite and say nothing and just accept it. But then with those players there, maybe that's when they'll just roll over. But if they get people that roll their sleeves up, then maybe in the future they'll be all right. Because let's be very, very clear, for as disappointing as they've been this season, they could have been in the top 4 today at this moment in time. So clearly, for as bad as it's been, it hasn't actually been tragic.
But it's top 4 of what is a rubbish league.
But
everyone has got problems, Nedum. Everyone's got problems at the moment. You look at everyone around. Chelsea lost home to West Brom.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said in my piece before, playing against a team like Newcastle, playing against a team like Fulham, Brighton and so on, these are tough games at this part of the season, because those teams there, they know that they're running out of opportunities to climb up the table. So with that in mind, this game will probably be harder for Spurs than if they played, say, Crystal Palace, who were higher up in the table. I guarantee it. But for Spurs, Mourinho's spoken. It's not new for him to criticise his players, so how are they going to react? They've got another chance probably midweek, and they've got a cup final in 3 weeks' time.
Frank, how would you react? Mourinho coming out and saying, look, I'm brilliant, my players are rubbish, nothing to do with me.
Yeah, but no wonder why he doesn't stay too long in every club he's been to, because players are going to start hating him. And that's the reason why, he doesn't stay long. What the players, because they have an ego, and not maybe as high as Mourinho's ego, but they have an ego, and they say, okay, we're going to show to that Pep that we are better than he thinks, and we're going to make sure that he's going to go away after that. So I'm sure the Tottenham players, they're going to go for it, they're going to try to win the League Cup, but some players are going to speak out, and it's going to say, we don't want to stay with him. We don't want somebody who just trash us and thinks he's the best in the world. We don't want to work with those kind of people. And that's maybe Mourinho's problem, issues since he's been a coach. And he stayed, 2-3 years most? That's what it is.
Thanks for self-censoring there, Frank. We appreciate that. Everyone at Disney, ESPN, very appreciative. Kane's got to go, and he's getting 2 goals again today.
Yeah, if you're Harry Kane, the only thing that's keeping you there is a sense of loyalty to the club.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with...
If you're a Spurs fan, can you really blame him?
No, you can't. Listen, you applaud players when they show this sense of loyalty to a club, for whatever reason, because it's so rare in today's game. But truth be told, if you're Harry Kane and you're looking at Spurs objectively, and you are trying to decide where my career goes from here, where do I find silverware? There is nothing at the club right now that says you're on course to deliver silverware in any manner, or significant silverware in any manner. You don't see this Spurs team being on course to win the Premier League anytime soon. I know Spurs got to a Champions League final a couple of seasons ago, but that right now seems by far the exception more than the rule. You don't see it happening again. So if you're Harry Kane, in this climate of there are very few world-class strikers, very few available. You don't see Robert Lewandowski going anywhere. Erling Haaland, you're talking about 200 million, and then there's Harry Kane. Does your sense of loyalty really keep you at Spurs much longer? Objectively, and I'm not a Spurs fan, I don't see it.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.